They had a broken tractor, I bought a broken tractor. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm out here in the shop, got my new broken tractor here. I'm checking out. I found this on the internet. It was local, or I say local, it was over Mississippi, about 200 miles from me. And thought it was a decent deal. And the guy told me that the four-wheel drive was stripped, which is the drive shaft going in the front differential. It's actually the pinion gear that's stripped. So I'm not sure what it's going to take to fix that, but it also needs a clutch and the shuttle shift here. It's got like 9 miles of slack in it before it does anything. Now I've got the floor pan off here and figured out what's causing that. You can see right there that that's just doing nothing. There's a bolt going through there, so it's got some slop, watered the hole out or something. So I don't know how easy that's going to be to fix or how hard it's going to be to fix. I don't know if that was supposed to have splines there and now it does not, or if the hole was supposed to be tight and now it's not, or if the bolt was just supposed to be tight. Not sure yet. Hadn't got into it that far. Just checking the thing out, and I've got to pull the seat and all of this off. It's one piece, it appears, in order to get the floor pan on this side out and get this thing out there and wash it, because it is absolutely filthy. As you can see, you can't even see what's going on here. But so this thing was used at a cotton gin, is what I was told. It was traded in at a John Deere dealer for a new John Deere because the four-wheel drive broke. It was going to need some work. Well, the guy didn't tell me it needed a clutch, but I kind of already assumed by knowing what it was used for. It's got 1,600 hours on it. I used to have a Mahindra. If you go to my YouTube homepage, there's a picture up in the background up there of my old Mahindra. I wound up selling it. And so I ran across this one and bought it. They're okay tractors. The resale value on them is not great, which is great if you're looking to buy a used one. Maybe not so much if you're looking to buy a new one, unless you intend to keep it for a lot of years. But anyway, this is a 2012 model. It sat outside for a long time, and the paint has faded, as you can see here on the hood and on the loader as well. I did take a buffer to this right here, and it was just trying to check it out and see what it was going to take to bring it back to get it shiny there. And I need to get a orbital buffer instead of just this rotary one. Probably help out, especially in a lot of these tighter spots. But yeah, I was just checking that out to see last night, you know, what it was going to take to get this shine back up. And I'm going to keep it, you know, inside probably. A lot of the stuff on the tractor is froze up, I've noticed, from sitting outside. Just like these here are supposed to move freely, so you can pull these out. It's never been moved. So they're froze up. They did pull a wagon with cotton on it, from what I was told, and so they use the drawbar a lot. I'm not sure about PTO usage, if that was used very much. I don't know what they would need a PTO for anything to do with the cotton gin. And I don't know why the paint has all come off the rear wheels and not as bad on the front. I don't know if it's something they were going through or just washing it over time. The paint on these Mahindras are not that great. That's one thing about them. They're better than they used to be, I think. But so I'll have to repaint the wheels and everything and buff out the hood and the loader. But overall, not a great big deal. The place did tell me that I bought it from, the John Deere dealer, they did go through and change all the filters and change the oil and everything, so all that looked okay. So hopefully it'll be a decent tractor for me. And I'm sure somebody's going to ask, why such a big tractor? Because I need to be able to lift big things, and a little 1 Series John Deere just doesn't really do it for me when you're trying to pick up big truck parts and stuff. So anyway, this should do the trick, hopefully. I'll show you guys up here on the top. The gauges, and this is a 85/60. turbocharged. The seat looks really good as well. It seems to crank and run fine. It does have a little emission light on there. I don't know if that's probably something to do with the EGR valve or something other like that. I don't know how big of an issue that is, really. But I'm going to get this thing outside and I'm going to get it washed up so you can find the bolts, because it, like I say, is going to have to be split to put a clutch in. It'll move itself on the trailer and that's about it. And the guy, like I say, did not tell me that. He said that somebody told him it was normal for the clutches to release slow, but I mean, you can hold the brake down and just come off the clutch and it'll just sit there at idle and not move. The clutch is slipping so bad. And it is a ceramic disc clutch, so after you let it slip for a second, it'll start getting hot and it'll start trying to bite. But yeah, you can't really do any useful work with it like that. So, and that's in low range too, so when you put it in high range, it won't even hardly move itself at all. I'll show you up under the bottom here what I'm talking about on this drive shaft as well. Let me get you around there. Also, I don't think they ever pull the bucket off either very much, because the latches here kind of doesn't really work too well. But anyway, I had to get all that freed up and working better. It does look like they greased the loader. So at least they did that much. At least on some of them anyway. Some of them they may have skipped. Overall, I would say it's probably cleaner than the last one I had. So it's going to be in future videos. And the top up there is leaned down. It's loose too. I don't know why it's loose. The rollover protection. If you can see that right there, but the bolts that hold it are loose and it's all leaned forward. So I don't know why that's like that either. But yeah, there's gonna be some more videos coming on this, and we'll get it all fixed up. Like I say, try to get it polished up where it looks a little better, looks a little newer, and which technically it is pretty new because it's 2012. And we'll get the wheels painted and get a new clutch put in it. I'm not sure how big a job that's gonna be. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this front differential here. I'm going to roll up under here on a creeper and show you what I'm talking about here. Alright guys, so this is up under the tractor. This is the front differential right here. As you can see, this is your drive shaft coming into it right here. If you look at those splines right there, you can see it, they're just gone. And I think that that's because of that not being greased and just wear. Because this is, you can kind of see how that moves right there. So vibration and the slack back and forth and whatnot, it's going to cause wear when you don't have grease on something like that. On splines, rust and corrosion gets in there and it just wears. So I think it's more of a wear deal than it is a, like, you know, horsepower or torque stripped it. Because like I say, I had a Mahindra before, and it had the same kind of setup, and I give that tractor heck, pushing on everything, picking up with a loader, pushing on trees and everything, and I never stripped it. So I think that this was more caused by not having any grease on it and just wear and corrosion over the time, going backwards and forth and whatnot. But you can let me know what you guys think, if that's something you've seen before, splines to be worn like that. You can buy this coupler here pretty cheap. This pinion gear here, you got to buy a set of gears, and I'm thinking it's going to be $1,000+ plus whatever other seals, bearings you may need in there. Probably $1,200+ in parts, just a guess. Hadn't really got into it that far yet, just kind of did some searching on the internet and looked. It did cross my mind that to order a new coupler, and being how we got to split this thing anyway, I'll be able to get right to this. All this will be off. You get a new coupler and stick on here and weld it, but I have to be real careful to keep from getting this seal hot back here and melting it. And also it has to be straight, because if it's not straight, say if you just weld this like it is, it'll be crooked, and as this turns, it will do this waller, and that's just going to waller the splines out in the other end of the coupler, so that's not going to help anything. But I do have a dial caliper over there that I can put a magnet and clamp it on here and check the run out in the coupler, and if I could get a new one welded on there right there, I may not have to buy the pinion gear set. But I don't know if I should try to do that or not, because if I do that and you have to pull the front drive shaft out, you will have to drop the front end down and move the front end forward to get it out, most likely. So anyway, you guys can let me know what you think on that as well. Just an idea I'm kicking around. Don't know if I should go ahead and buy the pinion gear set and pull the front end apart and do it right, or if I should just buy that coupler and do that. So I'm gonna think on that some more. And as I say, this thing is completely filthy up under here with all that lint from the cotton gin. And like I say, they did change the filters like they say right there. They have 1,600 hours wrote on them, and November of 18. So they're all Mahindra filters, and they replaced all of them. That's what the guy had told me. So I don't know how big of a job this is going to be to put a clutch in, but it does not look like it's going to be fun. But anyway, next step is I'm going to get this thing out here and get it washed up so that I can actually find the bolts to be able to do anything with it. And then we'll go to taking stuff off more so. And you can see on these Mahindras here how they run this this brace for the loader. I think Massey Ferguson's doing this too now on their Global series. I've seen DLH Farms had his 4710 up on a lift, and it's got a brace down the center. That really adds some strength to the tractor by doing that. Like that, you see more what I'm talking about there. The tires look okay. This one here has got a cut in it somewhere. I don't remember where. It's right in this area, but it's somewhere on the other side of the tire. I don't know, they're probably 50%, 60% on the rear, something like that. Probably about the same on the front. The fronts always wear out a little faster on these four-wheel drives. I don't know, these maybe 40%, 30%, something like that. Should get some more life out of them. They do not have water in the tires on the rear. I've already checked that as well, so that will make things a little easier. Getting this wheel off, I'll pull this wheel off probably to paint them. A few more fun facts I'd throw in about the Mahindras. The last Mahindra I had was a 6500, which was an Indian-made Mahindra, and it was like the newer version was a 6530, and then they went to the 5570 when they went to the emissions. And I think they changed the gear shift location on the 5570 and maybe the 6530 as well. But my 6500, the gear shifts were in the center right here, like the old Ford tractors were, and you would hit your knees on them. You had to turn your foot sideways to get your foot between the gear shift to go over the other side. So this is the more deluxe model Mahindra. It's got the gear shifts over to the side. The older model of this was a 7520. They went to an 8560, and then in mid-year 2012, or towards the end of 2012, they went to the Empower 85, which is, I guess, what they currently still have. up to at least till 18. I'm not sure if they're still doing it in 19 or if they've come out with something else yet. But the reason for the switch was the Empower 85 went to common rail injections to meet the new emissions with the diesel oxidation catalyst and all that stuff on it. It's harder to work on, it's more expensive to work on. I did look at some of those. The 8560 is a little older, it's a little cheaper, the parts are a little cheaper. It's old style, it's an old style Bosch rotary pump right there, as you can see. Individual injection lines, it's not the common rail stuff. I don't know what kind of pump the Empower 85 has on it. On the new one, the 13 and up, if anybody knows, they can throw that in here. I hope they use something different than what a lot of them are. My friend's New Holland, it's got a CP4 pump on it. It's a CP 4.1, which is just the one piston version. The CP 4.2 was like using the Duramaxes, LML Duramaxes 11 to 16 that were junk, common failure, burns your injectors when they go out. Ford Power Stroke still using that pump. I was told they made some improvement on the 6.7 Power Strokes in the later versions, but they're very finicky to water and dirt. And so his pump went out on his New Holland and burnt the injectors. He had it at the dealer for about, I don't know, 6 months or so. While they were getting parts and trying to learn how to work on it because they didn't have much information on it. Anyway, over $5,000 later and he got it back. So, like I say, the old school Bosch rotary pumps are known to be better. I don't know what the newer Mahindra is using. Also, that's how I got this thing delivered home. My friend Jake, that I do a lot of work on his stuff, I called him, told him I had a job for him, and I usually call him when I need a tractor and need something picked up heavy or something other, move something around the yard because I don't really have a way to move anything around the yard. And I called him, I said, hey man, I got a job for you, need it done as soon as possible. And he said, yeah, I'm guessing it involves a tractor. I said, yeah, it kind of does. I need to go get one I just bought. And he said, oh. Anyway, that's how I got the thing home from Mississippi because I don't have a trailer. And time I would have went and rented a trailer and all that stuff, just easier to, get him to handle it for me. I did ride with him and all that good stuff. I was gonna make a video, but I didn't do it. I was tired. I didn't get like 3 hours of sleep that night. Did not feel good at all the whole day. Had a headache, all that good stuff. But anyway, got it back, and now we're gonna work on it, put out a few videos on getting her fixed up. This video here is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna get this thing washed up. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.